It can turn out that somebody that has a rocket company can also have the dumbest opinions in the history of planet Earth. Like, that's possible to have two things can be true at the same time.
John Glenn,
for example.
John Glenn.
We're obviously speaking of, of John Glenn.
Fucking John Glenn.
The internet. Can't live with it, can't take a dump without it. Yes, I've seen a doctor. And yes, what? And yes, I saw that doctor dancing to Addison Rae's Diet Pepsi on TikTok. Here to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the most deranged parts of the algorithm this week, please welcome Mark Duplass and Zainab Johnson. Come on out.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Come on out.
Where do you want me?
Wherever you want. Come on in. Come on in.
Hey,
Here's great.
Does it matter where we sit?
No,
Hi.
it doesn't. It does.
You're
It
in
does.
the wrong seat.
Well, I'm here now.
You're in the wrong seat.
I told you they'd be up on us, right?
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you didn't
Hey.
say they
No,
were
it
going to be
is.
this up
It's
on
an
us.
intimate venue. It's an intimate venue. Like a person currently neck deep in quicksand might have a hard time posting a Yelp review of their jungle tour, so too am I struggling. To assess how bizarre social media has gotten of late, Mark and Zainab, I'm going to tell you about the most painfully online subject matter recently trending on God's own internet. For each one, I'm going to assign each of you a pro or con, and you will do your best to defend or rebuke that trending topic in a segment we're calling For Whom the Hell Scrolls.
What is he doing there?
I don't know. I don't know, because it's his internet now.
He's in the middle of his Robotaxi event right now.
He's in a Robotaxi event right
Yes.
now? He's selling Robotaxis now?
Oh yeah, he's selling Robotaxis. You guys, all of you guys are going home in a Robotaxi tonight. You get a Robotaxi, and you get a Robotaxi, and you get a Robotaxi.
You know, I have such a visceral outrage when I see either the Waymo cars moving now around LA or the little robots that carry the food from the restaurants. And it's that I hate the idea of having to acknowledge their existence because of their the inability for me to ignore the fact that they take up physical space in the universe. That if I'm walking on a sidewalk, no matter, I want to keep going straight through the robot, but I can't because it is there.
Have you ever tried? The robot will go around you.
Yes, but you got it. Yes, but I'm moving too fast for these little monsters.
Here's the thing: you do have an option though when the robot is crossing the street and you're turning right in your car. You technically can go through the robot at that moment if you would like to.
Yes, but you know those things are just little. I'm also haunted by every Black Mirror episode where it's like the robot the picture gets taken of the license plate and it goes back to HQ, and now I got a letter in the mail. I'm dealing with that for 6 months.
Yeah. Also, there's somebody in their apartment like, oh, where's my burger?
Yeah, and sometimes that's me.
And do you? You don't want to be responsible for that.
No. Mark, your new show, Penelope, explores concepts of mental health, growing up, and living off the grid. Grid, overrated?
Yeah, I think the grid is properly rated, you know?
Yeah.
I think that we're getting really good things out of the grid.
I love the grid.
You know? The grid brought me some really nice leftovers today because I kept them in my refrigerator, you know, and that was nice that the grid brought me that. But what's bad about the grid and why I made Penelope is I do think we're all having trouble sitting alone with ourselves for more than 7 seconds without pulling out our phones.
Yeah.
And I had this time in my life where from when I was 19 to 21, my friends called me the Indigo Boy because I would travel around in my van.
With lesbians.
With lesbians, yes. And I was a singer-songwriter. And I would go days without speaking to people in between shows. And I would just sit with myself. And it was very formative to who I am. And I think we're missing that. So that's part of why I wanted to make that show.
Yeah. I like that. I love the grid, but it is nice to leave it.
Yeah, I used to go on long hikes by myself, and I wouldn't tell anybody where I was going, and I would love that. And then I saw 128 hours.
Yeah,
What's the name
it's
of the
actually
movie?
called 127 hours, but you
27?
saw the sequel, which what happened in that last hour? Inquiring minds want to know.
Now I text.
Yeah.
I
It's
share
good
location.
I like sharing my location. I like the intimacy it creates with my friends.
Who do you share with?
I have a few friends I share it with.
Okay.
And I like it. It's like, where are they? That's where they are.
That's where they are.
And here's where I am. And
Does
so-
it ever cause political problems? Because someone lied to you, they said they were going with Fred and they were really with Amy.
Well-
and that happens.
No, I think that it prevents that you can't do the I'm on the with the friends that can see where you are. Like my friend Spencer and I, we share our locations, and I'll be like I'll be like I'm 20 out, and he'll be like you're not 20 out, you're like 30 out. Like maybe if you drive like a maniac, you're 26 out, and then you'll say it was 20 out, but you're 30 out.
That's like, to me, that's like sweet vulnerability discrepancy that you and Spencer will joke about later. The bad one is like, I'm at Greg's house, and Spencer's like, no, you're at my girlfriend Amy's house.
Sure, yeah. I think if you're blowing up several relationships, you shouldn't have your location turned on with various people involved. No, that's and that's smart, and that's the kind of thinking that goes into Penelope.
That's right.
Who's off the grid, but young, too young to be off the grid.
Well, she's 16. She leaves behind her life and she heads out into the woods. And it's been really fascinating listening to people who watch this show, because some people really feel like this is everything that I want. I hate my phone. I want to get rid of it. And some people feel like, wait a minute, what about this girl's parents and what is she doing out there? And I feel like personally, I don't know how you guys feel, like the nature of discourse around the fact that we have 500 TV shows and movies on our queue, like we take things in and then we forget about them immediately. So I actually wanted to like increase the electricity of the idea by about 20% so that it could actually land with someone and create some kind of discourse other than, did you see it? Yeah, I saw it, but I forgot because I'm watching the Menendez thing now.
Yeah, I actually like that it's a 16-year-old and not a, if it's an older person, it's like, you hear older people like, I remember when I had to memorize phone number, but like a person that, as I look around at everyone who would say that, sorry, but a person that's,
This
this
guy has a rotary phone in his pocket.
You're
right
young.
here. It's just,
First of all, she's so funny, but you're a young crowd. Such a funny person, but she's joking. That's a joke funny.
But a 16-year-old has only ever, their entire life has been with the internet, and most of it with social media and streaming and stuff like that. So for them to make that choice, I do think it's more.
It's weird. Like when we started writing the show like 2 years ago, we were like, oh, this is kind of like a novel idea. And then in the last year, all these articles have come out where these teens are choosing these like chosen Luddite societies, and they're getting their dumb phones and they spend a week together in nature. And so I don't know. I feel like maybe something is happening a little bit.
Yeah. I went on Survivor in part to get away from my phone. And then I got out first, but they didn't give me my phone back. So I got what I needed out of it.
So you got the best of both worlds.
For sure, because I could still eat food,
You got
And-
Survivor on the grid.
Yeah, I was totally on the grid. Fiji's on the grid now. And that's the cool thing about it. All right, you know what? Let's play the game. Okay. First up, we have the viral cake theft. A TikTok user took us on a harrowing multi-part journey recently when she accused the staff of a swanky New York restaurant of everybody's I dropped a card. Anyway, he basically made a cake. The restaurant served tiny slices, and then he couldn't get the rest of the cake back. Let's show a clip.
This high-end New York City Midtown steakhouse took the cake back into the kitchen, cut all of us meager slices of cake to eat, and they had just eaten the rest of it for themselves.
Basically, he took to TikTok to say that this restaurant ate the other half of this cake he made. And the question is, should you come to the internet with that problem? Like, is that, Mark, you say yes. Zainab, you say no.
Oh, good God.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm going. You should absolutely take all of your cake problems to the internet. There are very few empirical truths. This is one of them. But let's face it, the restaurant fucking ripped these people off. And they did it in an aggressive way. You eat the whole cake, that's one thing. It's kind of like, oh, maybe it disappeared. Maybe there was never a cake put in. You eat half the cake, That's saying something.
That is saying
it's like,
something.
I want you to know specifically. Like, I want you to see the fork and tine marks. That needs to be punished. Internet is the place.
You say no, Zainab.
Ugh, I hate arguing for, okay.
You're so good at it, though.
You do not go to the internet about a cake, okay? Especially if it's a homemade cake. Because whoever made it could just make it again. Y'all probably had a big-ass birthday party, and those people working at that restaurant, regardless of how high-end it is, they have lives too, and it was probably stressful.
Yeah. Next up,
That was good.
Ryan Murphy, most recent season of Monsters, retells the case of Lyle and Eric Menendez, the two brothers convicted of the gruesome killing of their parents in 1989. As with every semi-attractive murderer, the actual Menendez brothers allegedly eating half of his friend's birthday cake. God damn it. Found the missing card. The brothers subsequently got a new crop of supporters, and since it's 2024, those supporters made a ton of thirst traps and fan cams about the brothers. Here's one now. All right. The question is, pro or con, is it okay that people are thirsting over the Menendez brothers if it gives them an outlet for whatever weird part of the human brain makes them do stuff like this? Zainab, you're in favor of this being fine. Okay. Mark, you'll be against. 30 seconds on the clock.
You want to go first? Yeah, sure. I'll go first. Okay. You can totally, listen, everybody loves a bad boy. And what's more bad than murder, right?
Right.
And I give back my time.
All right. Well, a tough act to follow. Mark, take it away.
Well, there's a gray area here, right? Right. So, these guys, they definitely killed someone. Mm-hmm. So if you're gonna crush on them and thirst trap on, maybe take it to something that was 50-50. Like, maybe they did it or maybe they didn't. So maybe this is some bad boy energy. Maybe it's good. If you're going to crush on somebody, it should be maybe it's O.J. Simpson,
Right.
Because, it's 50-50, right?
Sure. That's a view. That's a view you can have.
Okay. There you go.
And that's the view. That's powerful words. Powerful words.
What's in between a pro and a con?
Powerful words. All right. And finally, a peculiar mocktail championed by Dua Lipa went viral this week. The ingredients: Diet Coke, pickle juice, and jalapenos. We are all going to try it, and then we are going to just pro and con this bad boy together.
Okay.
I am
here
not
comes.
Try it.
Oh, here's
I
what.
have a third one. Hang on.
Okay. Why is it so big?
I'm so sorry.
Why did you make larges?
I mean, this is.
It's a lot. It's what it filled.
Insane miscalculation on my part.
What? I think it smells good.
I think it smells good too because I like jalapeno. So it smells. Anybody want to try this? I've never had a Coke in my life.
You've never.
I've never had a Coke.
Really?
No.
And you're not gonna have one now.
Well, why? Why would I?
Okay. Mark and I will try it. Do you
you're
want to
gonna-
smell
Wanna
it?
try it?
You're not going to start with a Diet Coke.
Here. Yeah. All right. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Julia.
Julia, okay, you're going to taste it with us. All right, you're going to count for Zainab. All right, let's taste this thing.
Here we go.
Cheers to Dua Lipa.
For those of you who can't see, we're tasting.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting. I think it is worse than Diet Coke. I think adding the pickles made it worse, and then adding the jalapenos made it worse.
Yeah, they describe a bouquet of flavors as it applies to wine, and a good bouquet, it all mixes together. And this is just 3 separate bouquets sitting next to each other in great discomfort. How did you like it?
Julie?
It's not different than a Bloody Mary.
It's not different than a Bloody Mary. Yes, we're
Wow.
on. I feel like you're right. We're on the road to Bloody Mary. It does need alcohol. I do agree that, Julia, you're right. This would be definitely a drink if it had alcohol. I think bourbon, I would say bourbon, Diet Coke, pickle juice, and a little jalapeno. I'm not angry.
You could be there?
I'm not angry. I'm not gonna order it because it'd be better without two of the ingredients.
I feel like, yeah, you take out the Diet Coke, you put in some Bloody Mary mix, you take out pickles, you put into vodka, you take out the jalapenos.
Put a little Tabasco or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on your way.
Yeah, and you're on your way. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole new drink, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
It's a no for me. It's a
This
no
is
for
a
me.
strong. It's a strong no for me. But and you know, I think that what's happening here is we've come to trust that those who are excellent in one arena might be excellent in another arena, and maybe that's not such a good idea.
Right. Like, for instance, it can turn out that somebody that has a rocket company can also have the dumbest opinions in the history of planet Earth. Like, that's possible to have two things can be true at the same time.
John Glenn.
John Glenn, for
Yeah,
example.
John Glenn.
And we're
Yeah.
obviously speaking of, of John Glenn.
Fucking John Glenn.
Fucking John Glenn. When I think when Bill Nelson, who was a senator in Florida, was in a debate, and Bill Nelson makes his point. Bill Nelson was a longtime astronaut, and the Republican says, "I think something happened to your brain when you were spinning around up there in that capsule." Zainab, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Thirsty.
She's doing a lot better than the three of us who drank
It's gross.
some of this beverage.
Do you have a plug? Are you touring? I lost.
Oh,
I
yeah.
threw the card on the ground. Sure, sorry. Well, let me do it subtly. Wait. How should I ask? What was my question supposed to be?
Well, I just got back from filming Upload season 4.
Okay.
Which is the fourth and final season, and it's so funny that earlier you mentioned Luddites because we kind of covered Luddites a bit in our previous seasons, and so yeah, I just did that, and that's wonderful. It's like such a good season. I can't wait for people to watch it. And now I'm back on the road. Next week I'm in Philly, and then Detroit, and then St. Paul, and then Amsterdam, and then Geneva, and then Paris, and then London, and then
Wow.
Austin, and then Houston, and then I can't remember the rest.
Being uploaded is the opposite of going off the grid in a sense.
Yeah,
They're the alpha and the omega.
Yeah, if you
know?
don't know the show, it's like in a close future, and people can instead of essentially dying, you can upload your consciousness to a virtual heaven that's owned by like big corporations.
I'm in. I want to stick around. I'm fine with whatever.
You want that?
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
100%. Why not?
First
It's a new experience.
I play an angel, which is a customer service person. And first season, I lost one of the people whose consciousness I had. Like my character lost it. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
There's still human error.
Yeah, for sure. But I'll take my chances. Maybe that's what we are right now.
I mean,
Maybe
you're either nowhere or you take the 2% chance you get lost. That's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Wow. Sort of an aside at the end with the deep philosophical implications. All right.
I'm here for it. Thank you all.